You know, we live in a world where people want to move fast and get things done. So having something that's lightweight, small and compact and travel friendly is always dope. So Fifine sent me this XLR interface, and I gotta say, it fits all of them boxes, okay? All of them boxes are checked because this thing is dope, sounds good, and don't even cost that much. Let's talk about it. Welcome to We Shoot Films, where I teach content creators and entrepreneurs how to build their brand or business through using video and audio. So if that's you, make sure to subscribe today. So first, let me thank Fifine for sending this out to me. All my thoughts are my own, so it is what that is. So let's get into it. Now, this is an XLR interface. And if you don't know what an XLR interface is, pretty much it just basically lets you connect a microphone to your computer so you can stream, podcast, do whatever you want to do through your computer and sound great. So let's see what we got. This is what it comes in. Nice little box. Open it up. All right, you got this here. USB-C to USB-A adapting cable. And obviously, you know, the instructions. Never use them. All right, y'all, so here it is, the XLR interface, and it's small, simple, lightweight, compact, travel-friendly, you know, everything that I just said. All of this for only $54.99. At this time, you know, you want to check and make sure, but at this moment, this is for $54.99. And let's talk about it. So let's talk about the functions and all of this stuff that it has, all right? So on the top, it's very simple. You have your mic line gain, your instrument gain, and your output, okay? Now, your mic line is for your XLR input. And XLR input is considered to be for microphones that are more on a professional level. And then the next one, which is pretty dope, is your instrument gain too. Now, even though you can plug an instrument like a guitar or bass, you can do that, but it has a multi-function. You can also use a microphone on this second gain. So now you have two microphones. So in a way, this is almost like a dual microphone interface if you want a podcast or have a guest over streaming or whatever, I don't know. And then here you have your output. And the output is basically just whatever comes out your speakers. You're controlling the audio from your speakers, okay? Then that's what you got. Then on the top here in the front, we're looking at the XLR input, 48 volts. This is your switch to remember this instrument too. You can switch between microphone or guitar. Then you have your headphone input, you have your headphone monitoring, and you have direct monitoring, and then your power LED. Now also, the 48 volts phantom power. If your microphone says it needs phantom power, that's what this is. So if it needs the power, click on that button, it's gonna turn green, and you'll be just fine. If it doesn't need power, don't worry about it. So on the back of it, you have your outputs for your speakers, and then your hookup for USB-C for your computer. And on the back, you have some rubber padding so that it just stays firm. Now, as far as the build quality on this, the build quality, it is what it is. You know, I hate to say, it's a little, it's budget friendly. You know what I mean? So yes, it's it's plastic, okay? It's plastic. And this actually has fallen, and it's okay. I hate to say it did fall, but it's fine. It didn't break. Everything's fine. So it's that good plastic, but it is plastic. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, it's fine. It's lightweight like it's supposed to be. It's small, compact, you know, and so it does what it's supposed to do. And at the end of the day, the most important thing about this is the quality of the sound. All right, so now let me show you a sample of what this sounds like in use. All right, y'all, so just wanted to let you hear what it sounded like using the actual interface, because the other, you know, the rest of the review wasn't using this. So just wanted to let you hear that it does sound good. It sounds clear, and as you see, I'm getting my levels right there. But yeah, this is what it sounds like. And also, this is from Fifine too, this microphone, which is my new favorite microphone, to tell you the truth. It's called a Tank 1, and it's really built like a tank. I'll leave that review at the end of this review. But yeah, here we go. This is what it sounds like. So let's get back to it. Now, you have to be careful sometimes with interfaces because they can really mess you up. If you get the wrong interface that is just real sensitive to like hums or grounding, or it just, I don't know what it is. I've had interfaces that's just giving me hell. You know, they just really messed me up because it's just these weird little sounds come through it, like interference sounds, basically. And this doesn't do it. I haven't heard not one bad sound from this as far as any type of interference or ground or any hums, nothing. This has been flawless. It's been sounding great. It's done everything it's supposed to do. And for the price, I can't even complain. So the pros are simple. It's lightweight, compact, travel friendly. It has dual microphones if you need them. If you're the type of person who needs to be on the run and gun, you got that. If you got to go to your friend's house, all you need is this, a laptop, and 2 microphones, and you could do a podcast or whatever. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause this is it weighs almost nothing. You know what I'm saying? So you can move with this mad easy. So I definitely like that about that. And the price is good, $54.99, at least at this time. Now, let me say something real quick, too. When I talk about pros or cons, I keep them relevant to the product, okay, and its price point. Some people talk about these budget-friendly products, like, they compare them to something like, you're not gonna get the same quality of $1,000 interface or a $5,000 interface, okay? Go buy that if you want that. You know what I'm saying? This is $54.99. So I keep my reviews based on the price. You know what I'm saying? And if it's worth that price, and it is. So I'm just saying, some people talk too much about things that, they're comparing it to stuff they shouldn't compare it to. This is what it is. It's a simple, basic, there's no compression in here. There's no effects in here. So let's not complicate it and be like, oh, I wish it, no. It's $54.99. You know what I mean? It sounds great. It does exactly what it was created to do. Period. Now, do I have any cons about this? Yes, I do. Wish I didn't, but I do. The levels of here, now these don't feel bad. These actually feel very good, okay? But there's nothing that tells you anything. You go from nothing, from 0, all the way to all the way, that's it. It doesn't tell you anything. I would love for it to have some kind of markings on it, just so that you have, it just feels better knowing, okay, I always have it here and that's where it sounds good. You know what I'm saying? So I think that would be better to have some markings on it. Now, it does have, these things here are LEDs. These things right here, they're LEDs. So if you got this way up and you start talking too loud, you're gonna see this turn red, and which is telling you, hey, it's hot, it's too red, you're distorting. So, bring it back. But at the end of the day, it's still kind of hard to gauge. So I would say, use an OBS, use some type of meters. I wish it had a meter on here. That would be dope, even better to me. The meter would be better but it doesn't. It is what it is. So that's all. Con number 2 is the front. I don't like plugging things into the front because they look too messy. When you're trying to do like a nice little desk setup, you don't want stuff just all out in the front of you. It just looks bad. It looks unorganized. I don't like cables poking out from the front. Now, if you're on a running gun, you're just going somewhere, setting up real fast and quick, then it's fine. But for people who want this to be a minimalist setup and you want it to look nice and neat on your desk, you don't want cables falling from the front. You want them from the back. So I would say, move it to the back. Move all your XLR inputs in the back of the product, and it's going to be perfect. But other than that, that's what it is. Con number 3, it needs a little more power. Most microphones are going to be fine with this, but it needs a little more gain for certain things, like the Shure SM7B, I think that's what it's called, I believe so. The very popular microphones they use for podcasting, that needs a lot of power. It's very hungry for gain, and I don't really think this is going to be good for that type of microphone. But for most other microphones, this would be fine. So other than that, I have no other cons for this. Like I said, at the end of the day, my cons are still relevant to what it is. I understand what this is and what it's not. So who is this for? This is for a person who's looking for a small, lightweight, compact, budget-friendly interface to either travel with or just to look nice and simple on your desk. If you're interested at all in purchasing this product, I would appreciate it if you use the link in my description below. If you do it, there's no extra cost to you. Just helps the channel out a little bit. So other than that, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell on the side so you get notified on time. And like I always say, it is what it is. Oh yeah, and wait, I almost forgot. If you're looking for a microphone to go with this, check out my review about the Tank 1. Fifine makes that one also. And I'm telling you, it's dope. Check it out. All right, y'all. Be blessed. I'm out.